Hello, and welcome back to Book Love with Mrs. Collins. Today, I am going to be telling you about some funny books to tickle your funny bone because, well, funny books are really popular. In fact, I'd say that Diary of the Wimpy Kid, even though I'm in a middle school, is still super popular. Dork Diaries is still super popular. The middle school series by James Patterson is super popular. Kids like books that make them laugh. Adults like books that make them laugh. Funny books are just awesome. So today I'm going to tell you about some good ones. I'm not going to talk about those three series that I just mentioned to you because there are tons of other funny books out there that are equally cool, and maybe you've already read all of the other ones and you're just looking for something new. So stick with me, and I'll tell you about some awesome funny books today. So, the first book that I'm going to tell you about today is for all of you who love Diary of a Wimpy Kid and the middle school books, which have the great, funny story, but combined with funny illustrations. The book is called Middle School Bites by Stephen Banks, and it is the story of 11-year-old Tom, who, on the very last day of summer before he starts middle school, he's off visiting his grandma who lives kind of up in the woods. And through a series of bad luck events, he gets bitten 3 times. First thing in the morning, he gets woken up by getting bitten by something, which turns out to be a vampire bat. Second, he goes out to walk through the woods and gets bitten by a werewolf. And third, they stop for gas at this creepy gas station, and there's this display with like a zombie, and he's going in to explore and discovers that it is a real zombie and it bites him a little bit too. So, in the course of one day, he gets bitten by a vampire, a werewolf, and a zombie. Obviously, this is going to mess up his first day of school. He wakes up the next morning and he's pale and gaunt, and his canines and his ears are strangely pointy, and he can smell everything. And for some reason, has the strangest urge to howl in the middle of choir class. Add to that he can't see himself in a mirror, and you've got a really weird day. Now, on top of that, the bully that he thought was finally moving away to a new school is actually back. Um, and he has to share a locker with the weirdest kid in school. This book is straight up over the top hilarious ridiculousness, and I loved every bit of it. The next book is Stand Up Yumi Chung. It's by Jessica Kim, and it's more of a book that's about a funny person who's going through something that is only at times actually funny. Fair warning, I cried at the end, which is a weird thing to say on an episode where I'm talking about funny books. But then again, I cry at like sad commercials, so I'm a bit of a soft touch. Anyway, Yumi Chung, the main character, is a super funny kid who dreams of being a professional comedian, but no one except her immediate family, and not her parents, and the cook at her parents' Korean barbecue restaurant actually have any idea because she has a really bad self confidence problem, added to the fact that her parents, who are immigrants, think that comedy is a waste of time and that she should be more like her older sister, who's already in medical school at only 20 years old. They want her to spend her summer in Hagwon, which is a Korean test prep program, studying to get an academic scholarship to keep attending the school that she is already in that she hates, but which her parents can't afford to send her to anymore because the restaurant's not really doing too hot. Um, One day after the first day of Hagwon, though, she's walking over to the library when she sees this comedy club, and she goes inside to find that there is a comedy camp being run by her favorite YouTube comedian idol ever. And when she walks in, everybody assumes that she's this other Asian girl, Kei Nakamura, who didn't show up on the first day. And they just take her in, and she, instead of saying, oh no, I'm not Kei Nakamura, she just freezes and goes along with it, and lets them think it's true. And then once the lie has been established and she starts making friends in her new stolen identity, it gets harder and harder to correct. This book is a fabulous coming of age story, perfect for middle grade readers who enjoy books that will make them laugh, but that are also about real life difficulties. The third book on today's episode is more young adult. That means the characters are a little bit older. There's a little bit more romance in the book, although not very much. But I've definitely had sixth graders who've enjoyed it. It's called The Epic Crush of Genie Lo by F.C. Yee. I would classify this book both as humor because it is absolutely hilarious and made me laugh out loud multiple times, but also as mythological fantasy a la Rick Riordan, but with characters from Chinese folklore and mythology. At the beginning of the book, Genie Lo is just your average high school kid living in the never-ending suburban hellscape of Silicon Valley, hoping to get into a good school and get out of there. But on her way to her first day of school, she witnesses a strange sight. A group of men are savagely beating up a kid who looks about her age. Alarmed, she tries to get them to stop by throwing her backpack at them, only it falls short. Um, and when they all turn on her, she decides to get out of there and find help. Only her cell phone was in that backpack, so she has to go all the way to school and use the phone there to call 911 to try to save this kid. Anyway, she thinks that her backpack and her cell phone and all of her books are gone, and she's totally bummed. But then, lo and behold, at lunch that day, the kid who was getting beaten up, who nobody has ever seen before, a new kid named Quentin, shows up to give her her backpack back. And then after doing that, he does something completely crazy, gets up onto a desk and claims her like, "You are mine," which is, ugh, patriarchy. But it turns out that the new kid is actually Sun Wukong, the Monkey King of Chinese legend. Um, Everybody in the area is in danger of being attacked by demons who are being somehow released from hell. And Genie is the reincarnation of his mythical weapon, the Ruyi Jingubang, and he needs her help to fight the demons. As I said before, this book was hilarious, mostly because Genie's voice is hilarious. She's super sarcastic and witty, and I love her. But also because the setup of the book is masterfully crafted for comedic value. And, there's some serious moments as well. Fans of Rick Riordan's books will enjoy both the witty dialogue and the humorous narrator. Last but not least, I'm going to give some love to Sal and Gabby Break the Universe series by Carlos Hernandez. These books made me laugh from the very first lines. There's all sorts of bad advice out there about how to deal with bullies. Ignore them. Stand up to them. Tell a teacher. Tell a parent. Tell your dentist while he's sticking your teeth back in your face. The real way to deal with a bully is to stick a raw chicken in their locker. Sal Vidon has just started at a new school, the Culeco Academy of the Arts, in a new town, Miami, where his dad and American stepmom have just moved the family. When he has this showdown with the bully and gets sent to the principal to explain how that raw chicken came to be in the locker, which is how he meets Gabi Real, an alternately fascinating and terrifying force of nature who suspects that the chicken trick was more than just sleight of hand from an amateur magician. And she's right, because Sal has the ability to make tears in the fabric of the universe and reach through and pull out things and people and objects from alternate realities. And these tears are starting to destabilize the entire cosmos. And he's going to need Gabby's help to stop, everything from completely going kablooey. I loved every single part of this book. I loved the family dynamics. I loved their school. I loved the characters. I loved that Sal was both the architect of destruction and the savior of the universe. And of course, I loved how much it made me laugh. Carlos Hernandez, the author, is a deeply funny dude. You should read these books. Now, seriously. That's all the love from me today. Thank you for watching and listening. Book Love is a production of me, Mrs. Collins. If you like the show, don't forget to like or subscribe below to make sure you get the next episode. You can also follow me on Facebook to make sure that you can contact me if you have questions or comments or requests for future episodes, things that you'd like me to cover. All right. Our theme music is Don't You Think That I by Jay Lang. Until next time, have a great week.